All right, everybody. Today I'm friggin' ecstatic to have Raheem D just kind of chilling with us at Remix Release. Raheem, thanks again for setting off some time. I know you're all the way across the pond, and we're on a 5-hour time difference. But man, I am super stoked to have you just chat with us about what you do and how you do it, man. So how have you been?
I've been good, and thanks for having me too. This is something that's really cool. I love the fact that you showed interest and wanted to speak to me. So, yeah, I've been really good. I've been really looking forward to having this conversation. It's been
Yeah, man.
great.
Hey, man. And, I'm all about promoting talent, and you got a lot of it. You get a lot of it.
Oh, thanks.
Your audience knows you very, very well. Some people have probably heard your music. But yeah, if you could kind of give me in a nutshell, just like tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you exactly do, and yeah, let's just build off that.
Huh? Well, I am Raheem. Raheem D is some people may know me on YouTube. I am a mashup DJ, which for those people who may not know what mashup DJ is, someone who mixes like I don't know different songs together into one song, creates something completely different.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then yeah, and upload it to YouTube, and hopefully people enjoy it. It's new music for you. But yeah, I live in Ipswich, which is in England, an hour away from London. So I'm just a British dude, just having a lot of fun with music because I love music, and there's that.
Don't we all, man? We all love music, especially yours, man. So, do you do this full time, or are you just kind of doing it just as a side thing?
This right now is a hobby. With mashups, it's not really. I don't know if many people can make much money from
Yeah.
mashups to live on necessarily, but it's something that I've just always done in my spare time. When I was at school, I was doing the mashups once I've done my homework, kind of, and also, if I had a job, well, at the time I had off from my job, I would be working the mashups. It's just something that I've always just enjoyed doing as a side thing. But if it was to ever become a full-time job or anything like that, I'd be totally down with that. That would be a lot of fun to do. Music is awesome, so I'd definitely love to do music full-time. But right now, it's just a hobby.
So, the ideal or the vision is to actually get from where you're at now from a hobby and to make it full
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah. That is definitely the goal. I always wanted a job which I enjoyed. It didn't feel like a job. It felt like something I just enjoyed doing,
Yeah.
and I was able to live off that. And that's something that I'm looking for,
Right. And
hopefully.
do you think it's always going to be mashups, or did you want to kind of do more production work? Did you want to start singing or rapping? Right?
Yeah.
Or like, what are you dabbling in?
Well, I mean, dabbling in a lot of things, a lot of things. Well, I have actually been working on like new stuff, like original stuff, original music. Hopefully, release to the channel and see what other people think.
Yeah, man. When you're ready to share it, you got to let us know. We're hungry, and you got to feed us that. You got to feed us that goodness, man. I love music, and clearly you all love music. How long have you been making it for, man?
I've been making mashups, I think since 2007. I was about 13 when I did like
What?
my first mashups. Yeah, I was like 13 years
13?
old.
You're a friggin' mad scientist. You're a mashup mad scientist. 13. That's
Yeah, 13. So I think I think how I got into mashups though was the first because when I first started YouTube, I was really obsessed with Aaliyah. I think she's like one of my favorite artists of all time, and she was the first person I searched on YouTube, and I came across this mashup of Aaliyah's "One in a Million" and Sierra's "Promise," and this is
Oh,
the first
that
time I've
would
ever
that'd be a good
even
one.
yeah, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of a mashup before, and I was like, "What? This is insane!" I never thought that people could mash two songs together. I was like, "How did he do this?" And after that, I was just thinking to myself, "Wow," because I used to have like ideas in my head when I was like a kid about that would be cool if those two songs went together, but I never thought people did it.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I just picked up, I think it was a free program called Audacity. This
Audacity. Yeah,
Audacity.
yeah, yeah. Those
Yeah,
it's a
that
beginner
program.
tool, I guess.
Yes, yes. So at 13, I was just making these terrible mashups at 13 on Audacity. But now, obviously, with more practice, you work your way up, and I was just finding it really fun that I could just do this. But that's basically how it started, just on there. I think my first, I don't remember what my first channel was. I think it was Raheem D Player or something like that. I
Yeah.
just uploaded my first few mashups on YouTube in
Oh man,
2007.
when you were 13, that's incredible. Like, okay, so these old songs, do you still have them in the bank somewhere, or
I probably do.
dig
I
them
remember.
up? Dig them up. When you receive your first Grammy, we're gonna have to replay those and
Oh God,
reminisce.
embarrassment. But yeah, I made sure to keep them just so I could look back and see like look how far I've come from that to wherever I am
And that's
today.
yeah, that's great. So you were just actually just listening to something, you got you know, you saw someone else's work, you got inspired, and then that inspired you to
Yeah,
do your own thing. And dude, that is great. And that's what I love. I love how, man, if we encourage each other to be more creative, then that allows other people to be creative, and then we got all this cool
definitely.
this we got all this cool music floating around, and you know, whether it is music or some art or poster or whatever it may be, like, yeah. And that's why, you know, I really want to keep on doing what I do. So
Yeah,
so kind of dialing it back to music, what do you think of
yeah.
the landscape right now? How you happy with how music has turned out? Because if you're an Aaliyah fan, you're probably like me, who love the R&B days, right? Right, with
Yes,
the Boys
yes.
to
I know
Men, you
exactly.
know, with the Jodeci.
Yeah.
But now it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. Things have changed a lot, especially with mainstream music. I guess back in the late 90s and the early noughties, R&B was like at the main stage. It was the big genre. Right now it's kind of changed to like, I don't know, trap music and EDM music. And it's changed so much and I've had to kind of adjust to that. I think when they first started mashups, it was very R&B. It was very Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, all of those. And it's changed. I've had to like be a bit more diverse with the music that I mix.
Yeah,
Um, but I think R&B is still there. It's just not in the mainstream as such. I've noticed that a lot of artists on independent labels or things like that, they're the ones who are doing real R&B that I kind of enjoy, like Jhené Aiko, JoJo. Her mixtapes are really awesome. I love
yeah.
her, and Travis Garland. Those
Trav,
are the
yeah.
R&B artists I like. Yeah.
What do
So
you
those ones I've been listening to.
what do you think of Neo? You think he still got it?
Nia, see, I haven't really heard much from Neo recently, except from what was it? Let Me Love You, and that was a few years ago. He's released an album called Red, hasn't he? Since
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
haven't listened to. But I loved him back in like 2000 and what was it, 8 or 7 with his first two albums. I love Do
Yeah.
You and
No,
I love
those
Stay.
were really really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so his first albums are lovely.
I like I've been a fan of Neo ever since So Sick. I Yeah, that is one of my all-time favorite jams. And I
It
follow that
is.
guy, and yeah, he's hit a little bit of a rough patch because some people have been blasting him about not being R&B enough.
I think it's hard for artists nowadays because the same with Usher, they kind of have to, if they want to stay with the same success that they have, I guess they feel like they need to do a little bit of dance or doing what's cool at the moment, as well as doing the style that everyone loved them for. So I guess it can be a little of an issue to figure
Yeah.
out what type of music they want to release.
Don't even get me started about Usher, man. That guy, that guy, yeah, no, it's the same deal, right? You know, even
Yeah.
before his "You Make Me Wanna" album, even before that, I was listening to the one where he was on Diddy's label, and yeah, some really classic jams. And now it pretty much sounds like, you know, "Love in the Club," like parts 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's
It's
starting to
true.
sound the same. You know, I still think the guy's wicked, but you
Yeah.
can definitely tell he's crossed into the new mainstream genre.
Yeah. To, I guess stay relevant. I'm not really sure. But Good Kisser was good though. I really like that song. That was a good
Yeah,
single.
yeah, yeah. No, well, yeah, he released, yeah, some throwbacks.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So you're a mashup artist, right?
Yeah.
You're doing that thing. I'm assuming you've probably networked with a few other mashuppers,
Yeah.
and you guys kind of share tips, secrets, tricks, and whatnot. In your main circles, who are you kind of aligning with, or, you know, can I say follow? You know, who do you admire and why?
Who do I admire and why? Oh, see, there are a lot of mashup DJs that I do listen to. I always try and listen to see what else everyone else is doing, just
Yeah,
to see, okay, am I slacking right now? Do I need to be doing as good as this other person?
yeah,
So right now, obviously, I think Daniel Kim is one of the main ones. He's one of the biggest ones, I feel like. When he came out with his Pop Anthology, I think it was 2012,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is stepped up the game. This is really something different. Because before that was DJ Abram. He was cool. He was awesome with the United States of Pop stuff that he was releasing.
Yes.
And he's still awesome with it. But Daniel Kim really just like opened my eyes. I was like, wow, the amount of stuff that you can do with songs and make them sound that good.
Yeah.
But there are a few. Mega Mix Central is also really good. He does like mega mixes of certain artists. He like mixes all their biggest hits together into like one big 10-minute thing that you can just listen to.
Yeah.
And I talk to him quite a lot, and he's really, really, really talented and really nice as well. Yeah, but I actually always send my mashups to SIR Remixes. I don't know if you've heard of them.
SAR?
Sir,
Or you mean Sir Remixes, right?
Sir Remix. He has really great R&B mashups. Like, I think actually my favorite mashup of the year was his mashup of Mariah Carey's "You're Mine" and I think it's Johnny Gill, My." It's like My, You're Mine. One of the best mashups I've heard of this year, like hands down, or 2014 even. One of the best mashups I've heard. It's so good. It sounds like, because with me, I try to make my mashup sound like a song. Like the two artists got into a recording booth and they recorded the song together. That's like my thing.
Got it.
And he did that so well. But I always send my mashups to him before I release them, just to get like a little pointers. Like, what do you think of that bit? Does that sound too loud? Does that sound too quiet?
No, that's perfect, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's one of my favorites as well.
That's
Um,
cool.
Be friends with.
Yeah, hey, it's good to have friends that share the same craft.
Definitely.
That's always good. You probably made what, hundreds of tracks to date over the past like eight,
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could nail down one track that you're most proud of to date, what would it be?
One track.
Just one.
Ooh.
Like, let's say if I had a random passerby at Remix Release and I could just say, hey, Raheem D's got some mad skills and you have to check
Yeah.
out this one track to show what he can actually do.
Oh wow.
That track is gonna be
Oh god. Well, it's free. Can I not pick free?
oh, you're greedy. You're greedy.
Yeah.
You mashup guys
Um,
can't just stick with 2 tracks. It has to be 68 tracks in under 3 minutes.
Well, the thing is it's because there is one which I really do love, mostly because it's like the most successful one I've had. It was like on radio and on TV and everything like
Oh,
that. And I
sick.
absolutely love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the mashup I did of NSYNC's girlfriend and Justin Bieber's boyfriend. And they like mixed the videos together and everything, and that was huge, absolutely huge. And it became like my baby after that because it I didn't expect it to do as well as it did. Like literally within 24 hours, I think Perez Hilton had seen it, and MTV, Ryan Seacrest, and they had already shared it, and it just blew up. And that was this one I loved so much because it did sound like a original song. Like the two got into the
Wow, that's sick. And that's on
yeah,
YouTube?
yeah, that's on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Good.
So I think it's like even mentioned on like Justin Bieber's boyfriend's Wikipedia page as well. And I was like, what? This is insane. So that one is probably I guess it's my baby. It's one of my favorite ones. But then if I wanted someone to see me like in terms of my editing skills, I'd probably like send them like either one of my year ends or I'd send them my best party song ever mashup, which like have like I don't know 5 different artists in it: Selena Gomez, One Direction, Rihanna, Neo. And that was also really huge, and I guess one of the ones I really put like a lot of work into to make it sound like this cohesive song. So those two, it's hard to choose between the two, but it's one of those.
What gets you going when you release a track? Like, because I know some mashup DJs, like they simply do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
Right? Some people love the fact that they're getting noticed, right? It's, they're getting, coverage for whatever they do.
Yeah.
Some people just love the fact that their audience or their fan base is, giving feedback and stuff like that. Like, why do you do it? Like,
Why do I do it? There's a few reasons, actually. I think when I first started, it was just because I loved the music. I loved Aaliyah, and I love repping her because obviously since she passed away in 2001, there hasn't been like much new music from her.
Yeah.
So I was just like, if I mash up her music, that's kind of like listening to new music from Aaliyah, and I just love
Yeah.
Aaliyah. So that's just how that was my process.
Yeah.
And then I decided to delve into different artists and stuff like that. Um, and I guess when you realize a song can be successful, or you get like one successful video, you're like, wow, this is completely different to what I was doing. And you really love the comments. I love reading comments. Comments is just one of my favorite things, is seeing what people liked about a mashup and seeing, what all of those nice positive comments is really nice.
Yeah.
So with more success, I guess you get more comments. And then I was like, okay, let's try this artist and let's try this artist. And like Justin Bieber actually. I actually started doing his songs as a dare from my friend because he was like, "I bet you can't make Justin Bieber sound good on the track," and I was just like, "I'm gonna take that challenge. I'm gonna take that challenge. I'm gonna
Challenge
try and do
accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, challenge accepted." And then I think the second Justin Bieber mashup I did, Justin Bieber saw it. So
What?
I was like, "What?" Like I saw like he commented on it. He's like, "This is great. Thanks for doing it." He shared it on his Twitter and his Facebook, and I was like, "Okay, this is different." I never thought an actual artist would even bother to watch a mashup.
Yeah.
So then after that, I was like, okay, let's do some more Justin Bieber mashups, I guess, if he actually likes them and his
Yeah.
fans like them. And I just continue doing those. And like I think Aaliyah and Justin Bieber are like my biggest artists of the mashups that I do.
Yeah.
So that became a thing as well. But for me, it's mostly just if I like the music. If I like the song, I definitely want to get on, do a mashup with it and make it creative. If I can find a song that's where I can have really creative lyrics with it as well. I like to like have the lyrics make sense and if the songs make sense as well.
Amen.
So I think,
Amen, man. There's nothing more frustrating for me than listening to, like, I'm mainly a sound guy. So if
yeah,
it sounds really good, I'm on
yeah,
board. But then after a while, I'm starting to think, like, okay, I'm going to listen to some of the lyrics, and it doesn't make sense at all. Like,
yeah, it's
the first
different.
3 seconds are talking about love, and then after that, they're talking about, like, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, yeah, there's no continuity.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I always try and aim for, is to try and make a cohesive song. I always like to think, well, what if Sierra worked with this person, or what if that person worked with that person? What would it sound like?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
So
how it happened.
so actually that gets to my next question, which I'm like super curious about, is the whole creative process, right? So
Mm,
clearly, as you mentioned, you've been creating tracks since you were 13. So you've been a creative guy for like over a decade and maybe beyond a decade, right? Maybe you're creative when you're a kid as well. What
maybe.
how do you get the juices flowing, and how do these ideas come to you?
See, many people ask me this question, and it's so weird because I sometimes I don't even know. Sometimes like I've had times where I've like woke up from a dream, like I've had the mashup in my head from a dream that I've had. I was like, wait, these two songs go together really well, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But I guess yet again, it is with the whole lyrics, or if there's a similar melody in a song. Like there was one mashup I did of Sierra's "Sorry" and Genuine's "Differences," and there
Nice.
was a
Yeah,
melody.
I love that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, and the melodies in that sound really interesting and similar to me. So I was like, wow, maybe I can make a song between those two songs and just have them sing against each other. And I guess that's how it works. But it's really a long process actually with mashups. I think some people tend to think that people who do mashups they just chuck one song over the top and another song on the bottom, done, upload. When actually you've got to go and find the material, you've got to find the instrument, you've got to find the acapella, you've got to then edit them together and make them sound good. That can take a while for me because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm just like that bit doesn't sound good. I'm not going to release until that bit sounds good. And then you've got to get the videos. I like to do the video editing as well,
Yeah.
music videos, and edit that together. And then you've got to upload, and then you've got to promote it onto Twitter or
Yep.
Facebook and all of that.
How
So it is a
how long does it
process.
take for you to think of the idea and then to release it? Is it a week typically, or?
Oh, that can vary. That can vary a lot, actually. Um, Depending on how big the mashup is. If it's just two artists, like in a mashup together, then it maybe would take a couple of days. I like to just sit and dwell on the mashup for a few days. I'm so weird. I like to just sit and play it back every few days, try
Okay,
and see if I can find anything wrong with it,
got it.
and edit again and stuff like that. So I guess to get the rough copy of the mashup, it would probably take a day, a few
Okay,
hours
yeah,
even, and then I'll sit and dwell on it for a few days and I'll upload it. Because I don't upload that much in comparison to other mashup DJs. I only upload maybe once or twice a month, whereas other mashup DJs can release at least, I don't know, 5 songs a week. And
Yeah.
I'm just not like,
Hey man, you gotta, you gotta a day, you got a social life, right?
yeah,
And you gotta bring home the bacon. So I get it. Like, if you're not doing this full time, it's fairly tough. Even as a blogger myself,
yeah,
it's tough, just trying to keep up with it. But yeah, once in a while, you just gotta release something. Not
yeah.
find that you have to make it super perfect, and then just kind of see how it all pans out.
I think with me as well, like, it's quality over quantity, if that makes any sense as well. So I'd rather release a really good mashup than release a few okay ones. I guess it adds more people get more excited if you release less, if that makes sense. Like, I guess DJ Era and people always flock to his songs because he doesn't release that much,
Yeah,
and that's why people love it. I think that's just with any artist as well, actually, with um like Adele or something. She doesn't release much, but when she does, it's huge
yeah.
um, in comparison to any other artist. So that's what I try and do is just have really good mashup instead of just loads of average ones.
Hey man, you're building anticipation. You're teasing them. Love it.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. So your creative process, from what it sounds like, it doesn't sound too far fetched from what I've spoken to a lot of other people about. But it's almost like it happens organically, where you kind
Hmm.
of absorb as much information as you can, and then, as you said, right, sometimes you'll just kind of wake up and be like, "Hey, this might work,"
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's never really quite like I tend to find that when I sit down and I'm just like trying to bang on an idea, that it rarely
mm.
ever comes to me. But if I'm like doing something else,
That is the
it
thing.
just
That's the thing.
happens.
When it comes naturally, it's a lot better than forcing it. When you have to force a mashup together or anything, I think it's a little bit hard to do
Yeah,
because then you're just kind of like clutching for straws. And I have done that a few times as well. Um, but when it just comes to you naturally, you're like, wait, that song would go really well with that song. It's a lot better, I feel.
yeah, yeah. So if you had any tips for these upcoming mashup guys, what
Yeah,
would they be? Right, like you've been in their shoes once, and I know that the landscape's kind of changed quite a bit.
yeah,
Technology is getting a lot easier for people to mash stuff up, right? It's getting a
yeah.
little bit cheaper, right? There's a lot more competition now.
There is
In terms of,
definitely.
yeah. So any advice for these guys that are trying to make it?
I would say, especially with now, because back when I started, there was only like 3 or 4 other mashup DJs really that were doing it
Yeah.
often. I would say try and find a niche, maybe. Try and
Oh,
find,
okay.
yeah, try and find something that's, um, I don't know. If you like a certain artist, then maybe you should try and build an audience upon that artist that you love, and then it will gain. Because I've noticed some people that make pop mashups, if they like One Direction and they just do One Direction mashups, they just get loads of subscribers because all the Directioners or whatever will be like, "Oh my God, they do One Direction," and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
they get
yeah,
like 20,000 subscribers.
yeah.
So I guess with me, I have like Aaliyah's fan base. They love me because I continue to do her stuff. So that was my little niche at the beginning. And then maybe once you do get like a good following, then you can like branch out and do different things as well, and uh, try and test your creativity as well. Um, but I'd also say stay consistent, especially when you're beginning. You want to just continue to release really good stuff. So staying consistent and also interacting with the audience, with your followers and stuff like that, and building connections is also a good one. So if you have other massive DJ friends, they will be likely to share your stuff and tweet your stuff out as well for you, which I tend to try and do with my other
Yeah.
mashup DJs as well.
Yeah,
So
man.
I guess yes, there would be the main things. So either find your niche at the beginning, stay, do them like often, and interact with your audience. That'd be my thing.
Raheem
I think
D's
that's
three golden rules.
yeah,
That's
three
right.
golden rules.
Love it. Love it. We'll see if we can get you a book publication. I think that'd be pretty valuable.
That'd
Hey
be
man,
great.
this has been fun. You've obviously just like given us a wealth of information on just like, hey, how to get started in your own craft, the creative process, and how
Yeah,
your opinion on the music landscape. Man, you're a fun guy, and you have an awesome vlog as well. If
thanks.
if audiences wanted to get in touch with you, your fans know where you are, but hey, new people that are interested in you, where do they go?
I would say the best place to follow me is also on Twitter. I'm on there quite often. That's at Raheem DTV. And also, like you said, my vlog channel as well. I post, I try and post weekly, little fun little sketch vlogs or anything like that, daily vlogs. I have a channel which is on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Raheem DTV, which is the same as my Twitter handle. And I actually do reply to people on there as well. And it's a lot of fun. I answer questions, all of that stuff. So people can find me on Twitter and on YouTube. Also, my obvious YouTube channel, yeah, youtube.com/Raheem to play 04, I think it is. And I also have a fan page actually on Facebook, which is Raheem to play 04. So either any of those, I'll be there. You can talk to me. So
Yeah, you're at every social network party. Let's
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm trying.
you heard him, everybody. Just like him up on SoundCloud. Go to Facebook. Really great guy. So Raheem, I've taken more than my fair share of your time. I know you're busy making the world a better place with your music. So other than that, thanks again for stopping by, man. We're gonna do it again soon. But hey, it's
Definitely.
good seeing you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's
Yeah,
been really fun.
totally, man.